I have no clue how Apple was legally able to release this app, but I'm so glad they did. For some quick context, back in January of 2024, Apple lost a lawsuit and was forced to remove every watch with a blood oxygen sensor from their stores in the US. I actually went to my local store during this time, and all they had on display was the Apple Watch SE. They had to remove it from their website, everything. A couple weeks later, they were able to add the watches back in the store, but they had to have that blood oxygen sensor disabled. Now, last month, Apple found a workaround to actually re-enable that blood oxygen sensor on all those watches that were previously disabled. But that workaround had one major flaw, and in this video, I'm going to talk about it and how this app fixes it. So first off, let's talk about how the blood oxygen app works outside of the US or watches that were purchased before the ban. Basically, you can do a reading and you'll actually get the results directly on your wrist. Wait the 15 seconds, and then as soon as this reading is done, it will actually tell me what my current blood oxygen levels are. Now, once that reading is done, the only info you get is what that reading was and how long ago it was. You can't see any info of past readings on your Apple Watch. Now, if you have a watch that is actually affected by the ban, you can now take a reading as long as you have the latest updates. So you need it on your phone and your watch. It's iOS 18.6.1 and watchOS 10.6.1. If you're watching this later on and iOS and watchOS 26 are out, those will have access to it as well. But once that reading is done now, the only thing you get is recording complete and no other info. The only way to actually see that information is to go on your iPhone, and you'll want to launch the Health app. And then the easiest way I see to get to it is to hit the search, go to respiratory, and then usually the reading is up here. Sometimes you'll get a notification as well. So I can come in here and I can see this chart is not the best. Like, I don't know what Apple's thinking with this. So you have all these readings. It kind of just gives you, I guess, the ranges. And then I believe I can go here and see a little bit more detailed on my daily average and my range in here. But that can be such a pain to go through all these steps to actually see your information. So what does the app actually do? So first off, if I was to go ahead and launch it, you'll see my last reading was at 11:12. Now, I do want to say that the readings don't always sync over instantly, and we'll talk about why that is as we talk about how the app actually works. Now, when you launch the app, you'll see today's average, and you may see yesterday's average. You might have to wait a day to actually get that info because it only pulls in 25 readings at once. It saves 100 readings at a time, but it just shows and displays 25 because otherwise it would just be a super long list. You can go in and see the actual info of each reading. So 98%, it was taken Saturday, September 6th at 11:12. So all that info is right there for you to access. And it's a very simple app, very easy to understand and just get to your data that matters most. It does have complication support, so you can get your reading directly on your watch face. I don't know any other app that actually gives you this access. Now, the app is called O2 Buddy, and you may be wondering, how does it actually get that data and display it on the watch? Because that's where things get a little bit tricky, because Apple doesn't actually give the watch access to the latest HealthKit data when it comes to that blood oxygen sensor. And that's where the O2 Buddy iPhone app comes in handy. So basically, here's what it looks like. This is the dark mode. It does have a light mode. You can see the graph, in my opinion, is much clearer. You can have just the little dots of where it's at. You get a full list of the items like on the Apple Watch itself. So here's how it all works. When the Apple Watch takes a reading, whether it's the manual one or automatic, if you didn't know, the Apple Watch will actually take automatic ones in the background every so often. That data is then sent to the iPhone. All that still works whether you have a watch that has the ban or not. That all works the same. The iPhone still is king. It still gets all that data. But what happens next is the O2 Buddy iPhone app is looking for that. It's listening for it. As soon as one comes in, it grabs that info and then sends that info back to the watch to display. So that's how it may not always be instant, but it will always happen as long as your iPhone allows background activity for that app. If it ever does get more delayed than you'd like it to, you can go in and launch the app manually. That should get things back to working the way it should. So you may be wondering, how much is this app gonna cost me? Well, it's only 99 cents. There's no subscription. It's a one-time payment. The developer made it as cheap as possible. And you may be wondering, how do I know that? Well, it's because I made this app.
Wait, what?
When Apple finally fixed everything, I was super excited, but I still missed the fact that I could actually get that data on my watch. Like, I even bought a smart ring to kind of cover me when I bought this watch to actually still be able to get those O2 data. I've made multiple videos on the band and everything, and I know there's a lot of you out there that really would love for this to be fully functional, and so Apple couldn't do it, so I attempted it, and like I said, I was actually shocked that they approved this thing. I thought for sure it would get rejected. I've actually updated a few times already, and that's where I want you to come in. If this is an app that you can see yourself actually using and enjoying, let me know in the comments below. If there's ever a feature that you would like to see put in the app, let me know. Any changes you want to see. The app actually has a little contact. So you see the little hand right here. Tap on here. You can actually contact me directly right here. It opens up an email for you to fill out. I would love to hear what you want this app to be. I've had a blast making it, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy it as much as I have. If you missed the video on when Apple actually got around the band, I'll have that one right there for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.